The picture on the wall is a picture of my brothers and I. We're all volunteer firefighters in our local fire department, and my mom for Mother's Day one year said, "All I want is a nice picture of my boys." And it's a picture we're all very proud of because it shows not only the patriotism of our family, but our dedication to service and others. My story is not unlike many others, but through that story I've been able to find an extraordinary opportunity to serve others. I don't know that there was any one instance that caused the post-traumatic stress in my life. I think it was an accumulation of things that happened in my time in service and in life in general. But I think it really hit me after returning home from service. I was expected to be the angry war veteran, and that's the role that I played. I was told that I was broken. I was told that I have post-traumatic stress. I was told that I had anger issues, anxiety, depression, and when you're told those things time and time again, you begin to believe them. You begin to live that life. About 2 years ago, we were sitting on the couch, my wife and I, just scrolling through social media. I came across a post from one of my old Army buddies that I hadn't talked to in probably 10 or 15 years, and was excited to see what he was up to. It's been a long time since we talked. And that excitement, that joy turned to grief really quick when I found out that our mutual friend, and actually my roommate, had committed suicide. He wasn't the first friend that I had lost, but he was absolutely the closest. So I dug through some boxes, I found an old phone number, and I called it, and his mom answered. And we talked for a while, talked about his life after service, and I asked her what happened, what led to this. And she talked about his slide into depression, his reclusiveness, his anxiety and anger. And when we finally hung up the phone, I looked over at my wife and she was sobbing. And at the time I was angry. I didn't understand why she was so upset about somebody that she didn't even know. And that's when she looked at me and said, "Eric, everything that woman said, I see in you, and I'm scared." And that she could not and would not stand by and watch me follow the same path. And that's when I realized that something had to change. That night, I sat down on my computer and I Googled the words, "I don't want to die." It was a hard thing to type, it's a hard thing to talk about now. But through that search, I found an organization that offered something called post-traumatic growth, an organization called Boulder Crest, and they promised something different. They didn't offer pills. They didn't offer easy solutions. They promised a different path. If you were willing to put in the work, there was proven results. And I looked at that as my last best hope to not only save my family, but to save my own life.
If you assume that there's something wrong with people, if you do it long enough, expectations are very strong. There's also something called post-traumatic growth, where you come out of a situation like that and you actually feel kinder toward your fellow man, fellow woman.
Post-traumatic growth, to put it in a bumper sticker, is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. However, as common as a term as that is, nobody has ever trained the veteran or the first responder to take those events that happen in their life and apply them to a life post-service, to not only realize that we're not broken, but that we can live more joy-filled, more purpose-filled lives, not in spite of what we've been through, not in spite of those traumas, but because of them. And when you realize that you can grow because of the things you've gone through, that's where true healing can begin. We can remember him and appreciate him. There's a young man that I've been talking to for the last couple of years, and he was struggling. And he came to me and said, "Man, something's different. What are you doing?" And we started talking, and I started explaining to him post-traumatic growth. If you're willing to take the time out of every day to make time for your wellness, we can show you a path to a life that is more joy-filled, more purpose-filled. He invited me out to breakfast one morning, and he walked in and went to shake my hand. When he shook my hand, he handed me a .45 caliber bullet. He said, "Eric, that was the bullet that was in the gun that I was going to use to kill myself. And because of what I've learned, because of what you've taught me, my daughters get to keep their father. My wife gets to keep her husband. I am so thankful every day that I have the opportunity to serve my brothers and sisters in that capacity. To be able to show other people what I've learned, there's no greater feeling." On Veterans Day, I hope my fellow veterans, my brothers and my sisters, would remember that they're not alone. No matter how dark it seems, there's a path out. You're not alone.